Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to No BS Ted. This is Ryan from No Border Sports, the No BS part. I'm Ted from Ted Talks Ball, the Ted part. Happy Victory Tuesday, Ryan. How are you doing today?
Victory Tuesday. All right. Yeah, I'm doing all right.
Kind of feels
Victory
like it,
Tuesday.
though, doesn't it?
It's hilarious to know that the Eagles, the Rams, and the Dallas Cowboys are out of the playoffs. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, I definitely didn't expect the Cowboys. I did expect the Eagles. And I knew the Rams was kind of going to be a coin toss. I had picked the Rams to win based on Laporta being out. And then I saw Laporta was back, and I was like, should I? I was on someone's show. I think it was Bryant Colts in the audience. And I was like, I probably need to update my prediction now that Laporta's back. And I never did. And it bit me in the butt. Laporta was the reason I picked the Rams to win, him being out. So him being back, I should have gone ahead with the Lions to win. But happy to talk about any or all of those. Let's say real quick, say hi to the audience. Got David McNiner in the house. So let's F and go 49ers. Got Randy Elite Daytona in the house. It says, I made it, Ted. People are just saying hi. We got CarCast in the house. Make sure you check out his channel. Make sure you check out David McNiner's channel too. He has a great YouTube channel. CarCast as well. Saying what's up, guys. Jimmy Perez in the house. What's up, Jimmy Perez? And saying what's up, Ted and Ryan.
CarCast,
And
I'll hit you up.
There you go. And
I'll hit
Dale
you up,
Berry Sports
CarCast
Highlights
here in a little bit.
And Dale Berry Sports Highlights, probably a little bit of mourning. I just found out recently he let us know that he was a Rams fan. I wasn't rooting for the Rams, Daniel Berry, but I did think you guys would win. Like I said, until I found out Laporta was back, I thought that was the swing player. And I will say also, like, I was a little bit unhappy with Detroit. As much as I dislike the Rams and really have not much malice towards Detroit in general, the Lions, that is, you love the fact that it's their first playoff win in 30 years. You want that for any team unless they're playing your team essentially. But the thing is, the Lions, I felt like they were kind of headhunting. I saw them go after Kyron Williams' head. I saw them go after Stafford's head. And then they went after Higbee's knee, and Higbee's now out with but has tore his ACL. And that same player who hit Higbee low, tight end low over the middle, also did the same thing to Hawkinson, low over the middle. Hawkinson is no longer a Lion; he's a Viking. And so, that whole Dan Campbell, bite your kneecap stuff, I don't think he meant tear people's ACLs, guys. And I'm not. I don't like that. I think it was dirty. I hear when people say by any means necessary, but that means to me is over the top, injuring other players, headhunting. There's probably someone I forgot too that they went after, hit him helmet to helmet. I think there was 3 helmet to helmets, and then Higbee, ACL. So if I was a Rams fan, I'd be unhappy about that, as well as the missed call on Puka at the end. But there were other missed calls during the game, so I'm not really too concerned about the refs issue because those things do tend to even out. And I thought they kind of did in that game. But that's a mouthful, Ryan. What did you see any of that stuff, or am I off my rocker?
I didn't watch the Rams Lions game all that intensely. I did see some of the things that you brought up though. So I saw the hit on Matthew Stafford. I saw Higbee get hit. I don't remember feeling Higbee's hit was necessarily nasty, but it was. I didn't look at it.
Puka was the first. They went after Puka's head, helmet to helmet. I think they did Puka twice because Puka. They also did helmet to helmet on him on the missed PI call at the end. But Puka was first, then Kyron Williams, then Stafford.
I didn't see the
then Higbee, then Puka again. So there was 4 instances I thought of dirty play in that game. I definitely watched all the games, all intently, all without skipping. If I fell behind, I rewatch.
We should find out Wednesday if the league, feels the same way you do, because the fine should be coming out.
Well, the problem is these hits on these tight ends, they're legal. You know, it's a
Yes. I'm not talking
it's
about the
technically a
tight
legal
ends. I'm
hit.
talking about the head-to-heads. You know what
Oh,
I mean?
head to heads. Yeah, those are
That's when
definitely
those
not.
come around, and that sends a message to the the team and to those individual players. Some players don't give a damn. Other players do give a damn. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it depends on how big your paycheck is. Kinda.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For the most part, that's a good way to kind of figure out who's going to give a damn and who's not. But when it comes down to it, you wouldn't want to be continuously doing that type of stuff. If you look at Greenlaw doesn't get necessarily fined all the time. He just gets penaltied and like thought of as a bad guy, and where they always got to keep an eye on him to make sure he's not murdering anybody. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think he's a thug or something.
There you
But
go.
I
Yeah.
am against those thugs. It's the thuggish, ruggish bun. What you know about that?
Not a lot.
Oh,
Not a lot. But I will say,
he's in the house.
oh boy, belt it out. Brian's giving us some bars, baby. This might be a first on No BS Ted. I don't think I've ever heard you sing before.
Oh, I definitely can't belt that out. That will sound really bad.
Nah, not too bad. I don't know. You know, judging as with me as your competition, you got an easy, clean slate. It's easy pickings here. So
I have
Don Dodson in the house says, "Good afternoon, Niner family. Welcome, Don. Thanks for joining."
What up, Don?
And that's a good reminder, just to let everybody know we're streaming to both channels. So if you're on TED Talks Ball, make sure you get over to No Border Sports. Give Ryan a like and subscribe. Same thing. If you're on No Borders, get over to TTB. You know me. And give me a like and subscribe. And if you're on a browser, if you wouldn't mind open up a second window, watch us both concurrently. It gives us more view hours. Helps us to monetize. So thanks, everybody. We appreciate that. So yeah, I wasn't real happy with the Lions doing that. As much as I dislike the Rams, I mentioned I had a tweet today where I said, Eagles, Cowboys, and Rams all out of the playoffs before the Niners even play a game. All my most hated NFC teams, and they're in that order. I hate the Eagles more than the Cowboys now, more than the Rams, which I don't really hate the Rams. I just dislike them. Seahawks would be much higher on that list, or at least up to the last couple of years. But bottom line is, I don't know how to feel about that. It's kind of weird. It's like I've never had a playoffs where there weren't, this early anyway, where there weren't teams that I still hated left. Can't really hate Green Bay because we bounced them from the playoffs the last 4 times we've played them. All with Aaron Rodgers, but twice. Anyway, bottom line, last 4 times we've played them. So I don't know how to feel about that. I mean, it's kind of nice having teams you hate left that you can hate watch, because now, like when the Bucks play the Lions, I don't even know who I'm going to root for. I guess the Bucks, because I kind of just don't like this dirty play by the Lions. And that's enough.
I could see that. I don't know. I didn't want to see the Rams because we play them twice a year. And if anybody out of all the other teams in the playoffs really going to have the best chance, no matter the team skill or the players, you know what I mean, skill level, who's on the team, I think they've got the best chance out of everybody. LaFleur, it hasn't been convincing every single time we've won, but we've won every time. You know what I mean? Like, it's the players come down to it, but it seems like our scheme always was better. Watching the Dallas game, I haven't watched all of it yet. I watched, I'd say, the first quarter and the last half, but I wasn't really watching the last half so intensely because I was doing it live and I was doing other things at the same time. So, but what I noticed is some of their big plays were kind of off of blown coverages. So I don't know necessarily if it's the scheme or the players, like the defensive players that they let everything get so open. Take it easy, Jason. But yeah, I think that I don't know. I don't know if I'm as scared as some people are about these Green Bay Packers. Not to say that I'm not wary because they strike quick. But sorry. There's a lot going on this weekend and all these teams just losing is just kind of crazy and not that we don't have anything to talk about, but I wanted to see them around. Like I wanted to put the Eagles out in the playoffs. I wanted to put the Cowboys out in the playoffs. I didn't care about the Rams. Like I said, I didn't want to see them anyways. But and Rams, go ahead and take that as a compliment, please, because it is. It's a compliment. I didn't want to see you in the playoffs, and there's an honest reason behind that. Not that I'm necessarily scared, but out of everybody, I think out of a roll of a dice, you got the best luck.
There you go. We got Jess from East Coast Red and Gold in the house. Jess, did you see my updated Purdy ranking for this week?
We breaking. You can't. He can.
I did it last week, Ryan. Even after you said not to.
He can't.
I did it last week.
Oh my god!
And no, I didn't do it this week. I was just joking. I had to try and pull her leg for a minute there, though. We didn't let it last very long. But no, I didn't update it this week. I was just funning around a little bit there. I did go through some of my old comments, and I was like, oh boy, I was definitely need to apologize to people that were high on Purdy, people that were low on Lance. I mean, Lance, I still think he's probably still TBD, but it's getting harder and harder to say that. And clearly Purdy improved a lot this season, but nonetheless, he made me wrong. Even if I wasn't super wrong at the time I said it, it sure looks bad now. So
can you bring up Carcast's comment, please?
Yeah, this one?
Yes. So
I think so too. I agree with that.
Okay. So I've got some stats here because I saw this and I thought, look, yes, he's a talented back, but I was also thinking about this as I'm watching the game and him running. I'm like, I don't think he's ever done well against us. So here's the stats. Per StatMuse, Aaron Jones has 55 carries for 219 yards and has scored 1 touchdowns in the 4 games versus the 49ers in his career. Let me do the math on that real quick because I'd like to see the per carry on that.
And Eric Armstead played in all those games.
Well, Eric Armstead, like we had that show talking about why the 49ers run a 4-3 defense. And me in the middle of that research, I realized that Eric Armstead is the reason why our run defense works so well. Everything about the wide 9 4-3 defense is not good to stopping the run. But yet we can time in and time out be one of the best run stopping defenses in the league. Where's my freaking calculator? Holy Jesus.
Got Low the Truth saying hi.
What up, Low the Truth?
There you go. Randy Elite. I think Eric Armstead's huge. He's limited in practice today. They said he could have been back for the Rams game if we needed him. I don't necessarily buy that since he didn't practice before the Rams game. But yeah.
What does he need to practice for?
Well,
so
just to get back his injury game after he's been out for a while. And but with this plantar fasciitis, it can flare up, and regress at any time. So I'm still concerned about him. Not starting, but how far and how effectively he'll play into the game.
Oh, it's the playoffs. I don't think you'll see him come out of the game if we are close or down at all. This is the time when you will yourself through things, okay? Because you don't go through everything you went through this whole season, and the pain and all that to just not show up to a game because something still hurts. There's no reason for you to stack all those games and all those practices together to then just not show up and when it means the most. Eric Armstead wants a Super Bowl just like everybody else. You know what I mean? He wants it just as much as me and you do. In fact, he probably wants it more because he's the one who's actually fighting for it. He's already been there. He's touched the sun. He just wants to get back there. He feels that I'm sure everybody who's left on that 2019 team feels that a Super Bowl win is the only way they can validate or vindicate themselves. Because you got that close, you're that talented, and you came up short. So not getting back there and winning it all would just be a tragedy, I think, to all of them.
Yeah, no, I hear you 100%. It's just sometimes, you're physical.
Shout out to everybody.
There's playing with pain, and then there's, just something that's going to make you worse than the guy behind you type of thing. Bebop Jones in the house, coming to us from Bethlehem, PA. I bet there's a lot of sad people in your neighborhood. Bebop with both Steelers and Eagles losing. Although I will say my Steelers friends I've talked to, they were kind of just happy to make the playoffs. So they weren't too worried about it. But the Eagles, I know, are pretty unhappy after their expectations coming off the Super Bowl. David Corona in the house. What's up, David Corona? Thanks for joining. As far as, I, like you, did not want to see the Rams. They were probably the NFC team I feared the most or worried about the most. Fear is probably too strong of a word. And the Packers were next. And so just because I, worry about them the most doesn't mean I worry about them a lot. I think Jordan Love is legit. I think he's done a lot with some young weapons. I do think Aaron Jones is a really legit back. Someone said, "Oh, he's just oh wait, no, not that one." He said he's just nothing special, just a dual threat back catching passes from the back as well. But that's what really sets running backs apart these days is the ones who can catch. Those are the ones that have all the value. The CMCs, the Alvin Kamara's, the Aaron Joneses. I know I'm forgetting some, but bottom line, the ones that can run routes and can basically be running backs. Dalvin Cook was that way, but he kind of fell off a cliff this year. So anyway, I mean, I think there's reason to be worried. Someone was talking about rain in the forecast, and I had posted that up that there was a 50% chance of rain as of like yesterday. But now, as of today, it's only showing. I go off Apple weather because that's been really accurate for me in the past. It's showing rain today, rain Friday, and rain Sunday. But as of right now, no rain forecast for Saturday. So let's hope that stays that way. I know a lot of people don't think rain's a big deal for Purdy or for Brock. I just felt like first half of the Seahawks wildcard game last year it was, and Cleveland game this year it was. But, probably nothing to lose a lot of sleep over.
He's had other games this year that were rainy and didn't look like those at all.
Which ones?
I can't remember which one's off the top of my head, but I remember there's one.
The Eagles game was like foggy and like there was like mist in the air, but it wasn't like actually raining.
No. I think there was one here just these last couple weeks.
I mean, I remember after the Browns game, I went through our schedule and I looked at all our open air games that we had going out the rest of the season, including Bengals, Jags, Bucks, Seahawks in Seattle, Seahawks here, Eagles in Philly, Ravens here, Commanders in Washington, and Rams here. And
Thanksgiving, it didn't rain, did it?
no,
Okay.
no, everybody was sure it would because it was Seattle, but it didn't.
Well, yeah. Like, if you tell me there's no chance of rain or it's not going to rain, if being from up here, I'm just going to tell you you're an idiot. It could be in the middle of summer, and I'm going to be like, no, there's still a chance. Shut up. Bro, it was 106 degrees. I was camping, and I got rained on.
There you go. 106. Wow, that's crazy.
106 degrees. And with the humidity on top of that, it's even worse. Oh, my God. It sucked. But it was kind of cool. I was grilling corn dogs. I had a propane grill, and all we had left was corn dogs. So the frozen corn dogs. So they weren't frozen at the time; they were de-thawed. But I'm grilling those on there, and as I'm grilling them, I'm getting rained on, and I was like, "This is awesome," because it was just cooling me down. You know what I mean? In between trees and the shade, kind of, and then you got the rain popping through. Plop, plop, plop.
There you go. So yeah, I mean, when it comes to the Packers, I think Jordan Love's legit. I think Aaron Jones is legit. I think Christian Watson is legit. I think Romeo Doubs is legit. I don't know that they have any great tight ends, but I don't know that they necessarily need them. Bottom line is, I think their run defense is probably a little suspect, and we obviously have a very good run game, much better than the Cowboys. And the Cowboys' run defense is very suspect after the Cards and the Bills and the way they ran on them. So I think that will be the difference. Two things that scare me in the game. Well, three: rain, Armstead's foot, and Moody's foot. Those are my concerns with. If it's close, and we have to count on Moody to win it for us. He ain't no Robbie Gold. Let's face it. But I'm not sure that it'll be that close. We're a lot tougher. I mean, I was bantering with the.
I want to know. Have you ever seen the rain coming down on a sunny day?
There you go.
Dun, dun,
Randy was
dun,
commenting
dun.
on my free jersey. I
Chris,
got Brock Purdy.
Sorry.
That's okay. That's fine. I'll go back. I got Brock Purdy given to me by Nancy Cameron. She's a frequent audience member. And then my wife gave me Kittle there. So Steve Young is semi-retired. We'll see. He might pop out from time to time. Pause. But I think he's done for a while. But what was Osorno? Where did is he further up? Must be. Chris Osorno. Here we go. Green Bay's running game will be a non-factor.
He's down at the bottom.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, I suppose the rain could work in our favor.
It's the third from the last comment.
I want to know if. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean,
it's Credence, right? Am I wrong? That's Credence Clearwater.
No, it's possible that we could whip them. I just think they're pretty good.
That's John Fogerty right there.
If they can run it and they can limit our run game, I think it'll be a hell of a game.
Hey, Chris, where's the bathroom? Chris, where's the bathroom? Can you please let me know where the bathroom is?
There's a bathroom on the right.
Do you know about it?
Isn't that the messed up lyrics? Was that Eddie Murphy who did that? Is that when they're talking about singing the wrong lyrics?
That was actually John.
There's a bad moon on the right.
John Fogerty actually did that.
Well, I know who sang it.
John Fogerty actually. No, he actually sang those lyrics one time because there was that thing, and he sang it just to mess with people.
Oh, that's
back
great.
in the day.
That's awesome.
Before there was any comedians talking about it. Yeah.
Oh, no doubt. Okay, interesting. Did not know that. People are just saying hi. Whip that Swiss. Crown Town. Well, hopefully.
I do have to say, Tina Turner's Proud Mary is. I feel Tina Turner's Proud Mary is better than CCR's. When she starts it off all slow, and then it. Dun, 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 dun.
Well, especially with the dancing.
And it builds up the tempo. And then
Yeah.
and you get, oh man, she's like, her legs are going up and down like this. You can't help but that's my.
Oh boy.
Just saying, it might be a.
Yeah. I'm with you. Carcass is saying they have great talent on defense, but our offense might just too much. Alexander, Preston Smith, Kenny Clark, Rashawn Gary.
How is Jair Alexander? I knew he got hurt a little bit.
Yeah, he it's interesting because he was a game time decision. He came out in pregame.
It seemed like the same injury got re-injured.
Yeah,
don't bother me.
Except for that he twisted it. Except for that he
Sorry
twisted
about your father, sir.
Yeah, same here, Steven. Good to see you.
Yeah, hope you're doing better, sir.
Absolutely. Prayers up for you and your family. Absolutely. So normally when you twist your ankle, you kind of twist it like the ankle goes out and the foot goes in, right? And the ankle almost like touches the ground, essentially, that ankle bone. And Jair, when he re-aggravated it against the Rams, he did it the other way where the foot went out and the ankle went in. So there was some thought that it might not be as severe, but I don't know. I haven't seen anything. It's interesting too, because I had tweeted about it before the game where I said, okay, Jair is cleared to play, but for how long? Because these ankles are notorious. Just like I was saying about Eric Armstead's foot, I have worries about how long and how well he'll play. I felt the same way about Jair Alexander in that game. And so it was interesting when he twisted it again, because I was like,
one thing I
learned to happen with sprained ankles. Tends to happen.
One thing I learned as a student athletic trainer is that when you sprain your ankle, it's not like you hurt one thing. You're actually like what you consider a minor sprained ankle is spraining like 3 ligaments. Okay, so if you sprain your ankle one way, you can have anywhere between 3 to 7 ligaments sprained. You go to sprain it the other way, you might be spraining another 4 to 5 ligaments, different ligaments on top of that. So, you could be at 5 and then you do another 5, and then that's 10 ligaments inside that ankle that are not good and not holding to the original strengths and tension that they're used to. So I'm not saying anything bad, but that's just something people need to know, especially
about for a corner.
Yeah, who's doing a lot of sideways movements and all this. Like you're moving every which way as a corner. It's crazy.
It's reactionary. Stuff. You don't get to pick. You're reacting to the wide receiver.
You don't get to like
anticipate.
Anticipate, plan out your moves ahead of time like a wide receiver can. Like sometimes you want to be able to have the right foot out at the right time so you can plant and go the right way. You know what I mean? So a corner can't do that. The moment the wide receiver turns, it doesn't matter what foot they're on. They've got to make a turn or else they're gone. The separation gap has already started. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of scared for that one. I want him to play. I want full strength. Let's go. Let's do that. I want everybody full strength throughout the playoffs. No excuses. Exactly.
No excuses.
But I don't think he's going to be full strength. Yep, Jair had an interception. They had 2. The Green Bay Packers had 2 interceptions against.
Trust me, I was quick to reply to my tweet with that because I knew otherwise people were going to be like, "Oh, you got the interception, Ted." Like, I know how the Twitter X works. It's better to tell on yourself quickly than wait for others to do it. Yeah, definitely. When you have an injury compensating, you can injure other areas nearby. Absolutely. Rick Diaz in the house. What's up, Rick? That's what I was trying to explain to that Packer fan on the timeline was that, Levi's ain't Jerry's world. And we aren't the Cowboys. Some people may not realize this, but the 49ers have not lost a playoff game at Levi's. And we have a run game, the Cowboys don't, and we have a run D, and the Cowboys don't. So those things will be in our favor against the Packers that the Cowboys didn't have. I'm not saying the Packers can't win or it can't be a good game, but This is why I'm getting more and more confident as the week rolls on. I was a little concerned right after the game, and then, sort of been my rational side has been overruling the emotional side, and also just hearing a lot of other people being confident always helps too. So
the way I see it, Kyle's the big brother in this.
Yeah.
LaFleur is just running Kyle's dad's system.
Yeah.
And a lot of the guys who are on the defense who don't have like big roles some of them are offensive coaches in the weightings. They're learning defenses. So they know the Kyle Shanahan offense. They know how it goes. And now they're working on defense. So if they see how they're trying to take apart our defense with the same schemes that we use, all they got to do is call Wilkes. Hey, bro, they're using stretch on us. You know what I mean? That's all you got to say when they're doing this and that. When we're in this formation, they're putting this and that. Steve Wilkes knows how to adjust.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Stephen was saying that he studied sports medicine, athletic training before switching majors. Knew Tim McDonald. That's very cool. No doubt about it. Low the Truth was saying Jair is going to shout out Ayuk, in my opinion. All I know is he better not try to get physical with Devo like he did with CeeDee Lamb. It will not have a happy ending for Jair Alexander. I can just tell you that.
Do you think shadowing Brandon Ayuk is going to be good for Jair Alexander?
Who breaks ankles with his
breaks ankles.
Yeah,
take your ankles. He will take them.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. If they do, it's gonna be one of them. Even though I don't like the guy, what's his name? Used to play with the Ravens, was at the Texans, then went to the Ravens, and then couldn't sign for shit. DeAndre Hopkins and what's his name? The guy who played for the Redskins. He was on the Redskins when they were talking trash. He's like, I fear God, bro. I fear God. I fear God. And then they got up there and he broke him down. And the guy was I can't remember his name. He's on the TV now. But yeah, that's what I see happening is Brandon Ayuk just putting him on an island and breaking him down and hoping he gets a Ritz cracker. That Ritz cracker
must
tastes like a great cracker.
Hey, that was just crackers.
Just plain old cracker. Really?
There you go.
Shout out to Eddie Murphy.
So Debo is going to eat. Yeah, somebody was listing defensive players. I would definitely list Lavondre Campbell or whatever his name is. Their inside linebacker. I think it's pretty damn good too. DeAndre Campbell, Lavondre Campbell, something like that.
I know they've got one linebacker that is worth a damn.
Yeah, that's Campbell.
Who knows?
As far as off the ball, inside linebacker, yeah.
Yeah. I just want to see. I'd have to go back and see what teams they've played and see, has he played like Miami? Did they play Miami? Or I don't think they did. But like somebody with a run game kind of like ours, even though they don't have a run game like ours.
Yeah,
we've changed kind of. They have our old run game because they have Raheem Mostert.
There you go.
Because he was the reason why we could run that run game. Him and Breida were the reason why we had that run game on lock because they could get to the outside and we let both of them go.
And Tico too, Tevin Coleman. It was pretty good. Nancy Cameron in the house. She's the one who gave me the Purdy jersey. She'll give you the full tour.
That boy Purdy good. Purdy good.
Pretty good. It's looking good. This is exactly how I wanted a triple X so that I could wear a hoodie underneath it. I got a fever and a cough and congestion. So it's a perfect my Kittle might be a little snug with this setup because it's a double X. So triple X is perfect. So thank you, Nancy. Appreciate that so much. So generous of you. Love needs to get rattled. Yeah. I think that's easier said than done.
He got a lot of time. So, it's a kid. What up? He got a lot of time. He was He was making good decisions. He also was getting outside the pocket and making plays with his feet, essentially. Not necessarily, he was just getting himself open to be able to get his receivers more time to get open. And I think we can do something about that. We can contain him more, make him have to make quicker decisions. And I think we can stifle that offense some more. I don't know what was going on with the Dallas Cowboys. They should be getting a lot of pressure on them. I don't think the Green Bay Packers offensive line is that star-studded and or that talented at the moment, but I could be wrong. They just might be a group of sturdy guys with a good scheme.
Zach Tom or something like that. He's pretty good.
Oh, I'm sure they've got one or two guys that are probably underrated as hell and do a great job. I don't know if things were
pretty crazy though that they lost David Bakhtiari, who's one of the best left tackles in the game. Was up there. He was in that conversation.
Well,
and they just keep chugging along.
If you were going to say there was two in for it, Bakhtiari would be the second one, I guess.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely behind Trent Williams.
Now,
for sure.
Wirfs switched to the left side, I believe, this year. So
he did.
He might be in contention too. I haven't checked his stats and whatnot, but
I don't think so. Because
probably
he was never up there with Lane Johnson. So, and I think Trent Williams is better than Lane Johnson. So, I don't know. They're comparable, but right tackle just. Yeah, I think Wirfs has had some growing pains. I think he'll get good eventually, but I don't think he's in that conversation at all. I haven't seen him on any of the like PFF things or anything like. Not that PFF is the Bible or anything, like far from it. I often say PFF doesn't suck, or PFF isn't trash, but it's not great. Let's just be honest.
It's a good point to start off with. You know what I mean? Like it's a good kind of reference to kind of look at, but you have to kind of do your own research. You can't just take it as the word of God. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Nothing beats the eye test.
That's why it's good to say, well, he's got a grade of this is the PFF. You know what I mean? That's PFF. You know what I mean? It lets everybody know, hey, this is what some people are saying.
There you go. Yeah. Some people. Have you seen what Nick Wright's been saying?
No. What's Nick Wright been saying?
Oh, he had this tweet. It was like, oh, the divisional round. There's like two rookies who had perfect games, and two, So obviously that's Love and Stroud, right?
Stroud, yes.
Yeah, they had kind of perfect 158.3 games. And then he said there's two number one overall picks that are kind of revived in Goff and Baker. And then there's like two, I forget the wording he used, but it was like all pro type or Pro Bowl type QBs, which is Mahomes and Lamar, or not Mahomes, Josh Allen and Lamar. And then he says, then a GOAT or potential all-time GOAT, Mahomes. And he said, and then there's Brock Purdy. Just like, and nothing else about it. Just like, and he also, Jesse Naylor posted up a thing of him saying, oh, you got to watch the games. And he was bashing on Tua. He did say that Purdy's a little bit better than Tua, but that's about all he would give him. And he said, when you have great quarterbacks like Mahomes and Josh Allen, you don't talk about the weather. But when it's, someone like Tua, that's all they talked about last week. And now you see why they only scored one TD. Part of
that's not the only reason why. They have been caving to top opponents all year long. They've been blowing out. Yeah. So to me, it wasn't weather. The more common, what would you call it? The common reference point between all them is the fact that they lost to a good team. That's what they've done this whole year. Take it easy, Don. Appreciate you.
Hey,
Have a
Don,
lovely evening.
I can relate.
Oh.
Mine's not a sinus infection, but it's my sinuses are definitely clogged, fever, cough.
Don't forget the mentholatum.
Went through the whole family. Like my wife got it first, then our young son, then my older son. And I was last to go the last couple of days. I knew it was going to happen though. Sleeping with my wife at night, just figure whatever she gets, I'm going to end up with eventually. So
yeah, that's how it works.
It is. So what was your point, Ryan? I was going to say something about it, but it's the kid 916 in the house. Welcome.
What up? It's the kid.
Yeah, gotta give him a shout.
Can you only hear that in one ear? I only hear that in one ear.
I don't know. I just run it over my speakers on my laptop, so I can't tell if it's stereo or mono. Sounds good, but I don't know. Ask the audience if anybody's on headphones. They can tell you.
There we go.
Well, that sounds a little better.
I got it in too. It was just my headphone. It was just my headphones.
Oh, there you go.
I just
gotta plug them in all the way.
My headphones. I shouldn't have done anything for anybody else. No, I had them plugged in all the way. I thought I had pushed it down twice to make sure and just pulled it out and put it back in. Maybe there was something in the way. Who knows?
There you go. Randy says I wouldn't take the word of God. The word of God. I know. You know what I'm saying. I wouldn't take the word of God as the word of God. You know what I'm saying? A lot of someone else told it to me. It's always that operator effect where things get screwed up the more times they get relayed. And you're going off someone's interpretation as well. Let's make an example of Green Bay. Nothing would make me happier. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Shardal Gupta in the house.
Remember that team? What up, Shardal? Remember that team you thought was, all great and just running through people? Yeah, they ran into a brick wall. It let everybody else know. Like, at this point, if we get past Green Bay, I think Lions would really be our only true challenge left. Not to say that the game with Tampa wouldn't be tough, because they've got a great run D, and let's face it, we'd have to do a lot of passing.
Yeah,
it's fair. It's just fair to give them their credit now. But Vita Vea is a stud. I'd love to have that guy.
Yeah,
love to have Vita Vea.
It's exactly what we need on this D.
Ooh.
We got Crazy Juice in the house.
Back.
What's up, Ted Ryan? What's up, Crazy Juice? Thanks for joining.
What up, Crazy Juice? Do not hang around or eat the saw-off faithful 49er fan. Oh, you're going to keep doubting. I didn't want to hear it. I make myself clear right now. Everybody hear me. Okay. What are we making?
Rick is on wax. Kenny Colt saying, check your track pan. Oh, all right. There you go.
No, there's no track. Nothing like that right now.
Telephone game. Yeah. I was always surprised to hear how things get butchered when it goes through about 8 operators to the end line.
Yeah. Also, everybody has got the same origin story. And that's interesting to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's really interesting. People all around the world, when they talk about their beliefs, you go to talk about how did it all start. It all started with the flood. That's interesting to me.
That is. That's true. Can Buffalo upset Kansas City? You never know. No one knows. Who shall see? Well, yeah, what we don't know is what Mahomes plays like in a playoff game on the road, because we've never seen it. And Buffalo's
Who's going to stop Houston?
Who's going to stop Houston? I think the Ravens. I picked us, Ravens, Lions, and Bills.
Okay.
Bills was probably more in my heart than my head. I do think the Kansas City Chiefs will probably win, but I had to pick the Bills in case they won. I wanted to be like, I picked them. even though I think KC's defense is just a little too much. Bill's defense was really good earlier in the year, but they've lost so many defenders, including several just in the last game against the Steelers. I think they lost
Don't
2 or 3
forget,
guys.
you don't just you don't just have to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. You have to beat the Mahomes effect too. At times, not every game, but a lot of games, he's getting calls just because he's Patrick Mahomes sometimes.
The old Brady calls. Go
So
to Patrick Mahomes now.
Kind of, essentially, yep.
Yeah.
Yep, he's getting Patrick Mahomes calls now. And I don't want to take any credit away from him because he is extremely talented. I'm just saying, when you do everything right and you still don't get things done correct, things don't go your way, that can be disheartening. And if you let that get to you at all, you're screwed. You have to forget that and play 10 times harder the next. Well, you just got to play just as hard the next round. Next.
Let's go.
The Brock Purdy bullshit is just crazy. How you can look at what he's done stats wise and all that. And if you watch the games, look at what he's done. He had 3 bad games. And it wasn't necessarily him was necessarily bad the whole time. Just nobody was it wasn't on the same page. It seemed like and you can't fault him for that. Drop passes are drop passes. He's not dropping them. He's delivering them there if they're hitting the hands. Like
those drops.
Like
the drops for Baker. God, there were some crazy ones by Mike Evans and the other.
Oh, last night.
But yeah, Kate Otten.
Yeah,
like there were so many drops by the Bucks last night. I thought they were going to drop the game at one point, and then then they kind of got a second surge and ran away with it. But it was. I was surprised to see Mike Evans drop that especially that one big deep one early. I thought could have been the difference, but they carried on and made it through. Randy says Ravens haven't been able to win in the playoffs, concerning a tad. Yeah, I would say so, but part of that, Randy, was Greg Roman as their offensive coordinator, and they're free of him. And Lamar has thrived this season. And I don't know if anybody caught it, but Mark Andrews is active again. He was out for the tail end of the season. And so now they have Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews and Zay Flowers. That's 3 legit weapons. I don't know who they have running the ball other than Gus Edwards and whoever else. But that could be enough. Lamar is running the ball, right? Assumably in a playoff game. I mean, I'm picking the Ravens for sure at home. I haven't really checked the weather for that one or anything, but I just think it's a big difference between CJ Stroud playing in the comforts of the Texans dome and going to play in the elements at the M&T Bank in Maryland. I think that'll be tough for him. And I think he'll play well. I think he's legit. I think Stroud and Love are both legit.
I don't think the venue is going to be tough for him at all. It's the team that's probably going to be tough for him. Let's just be honest. He hasn't shown anything this year that really makes you think that a venue would intimidate him. Has he?
No, you're right. It's the Ravens defense, right? I mean, they're
that's the one thing.
Browns and us as like the best defenses in the NFL.
I'm not worried about the crowd. I'm concentrating on that defense.
Yeah,
that's just to be honest. You know what I mean? And I'm not even gonna, unless I can't get my plays out, I'm not worried about the crowd whatsoever. My attention is strictly on that defense. But I also don't think this moment's too big for him.
There you go.
I don't. I think he's comfortable in his own skin. I think he trusts everybody around him and he has faith in them. So
So you're picking
It's hard to stop
Texans
somebody like that.
with the points, or you're taking the Texans money line?
Ooh, what's the points?
A lot. I'm sure. I haven't looked, honestly, but it's probably like us, probably like 10-ish. I'll check it out. Just real quick, little Sponge in the house. Let's give him a shout out. He's
Those
upset,
spongy.
but he ain't hiding.
No, appreciate you. Appreciate
So
you coming out.
Niners 9.5, Ravens 9, Bucks or Lions 6.5. That's a lot. I think I would take the Bucks and 6.5 for sure.
I'll take
and Bills are favored
I'll
over
take the
Chiefs.
Texans with points.
I would take the Chiefs in the 2.5, but I'm picking the Bills straight up. He says I'm mad, but I ain't
I
gonna
would go with
hide.
Texans money or Texas points.
How did Roman last year so long? Well, they did great in the regular season. They're kind of like the Cowboys. They did great in the regular season and then frauds in the playoffs.
It seems so
Sponge, you're happy with Nick Sirianni. You're just Brian Johnson, and I could see that. Like their biggest loss probably was Steichen. I think Gannon hurt them too. Both those coordinators leaving. Also trying to replace a bunch of veterans on defense with a bunch of highly drafted but still rookie players. I think that was part. I called that before the season started. That as good as the Eagles draft looked, 50% of rookie drafted players fail, and the 50% that hit don't often hit in the rookie season. But I'd be curious to know what you think about Sirianni. A lot of Eagles fans want him gone. Go ahead, Ryan. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, I can't remember what were we talking about.
Well, Chris Osorno likes Stroud's chances. Well, here's the difference, Chris. The Browns came in the playoffs with a formidable defense. Yes, the Browns had the lowest yards allowed of any team since the LOB defense. So
I think they also had the best pass rusher, right? Wasn't Miles
Garrett? He won Defensive Player of the Year.
Okay.
It depends on how you define best, but he's up there with TJ Watt with I'd say Bosa, but Bosa had an off year. Micah, but Micah can't defend the run.
I don't know if Bosa had an off year or if Bosa was
just a slow start. How about
more work. Well, it seems like I was listening to who was it
until Chase Young came too. I get it, but here's the deal, real quick about the Brown. Before I get sidetracked, the Browns defense is that they were a Jekyll and Hyde defense. They were deadly at home, and they were like I think 31st in scoring allowed on the road. So they were on the road. So it's not the same defense. Their defense, usually great defenses, like there's a saying in football, like defense and running game travels. In other words, even in an opposing stadium, if you have a strong run game, that should work with a lot of crowd noise, and so should a great defense. And that just didn't hold true for the Browns defense in 2023. So I don't read so much into the Browns as also the Ravens defense was playing stronger towards the end. I mean, you saw what they did to us. But some of it was bad luck.
For Stroud to carve up the Browns like that, that good defense, that's saying something. To me, at least. That's something.
I mean, it's more than like people trying to compare Purdy's numbers last year against the Seahawks. When they had the 25th ranked D, I don't think you can really compare those two defenses. And Stroud had 3 TDs in the first half and then didn't need them because of the 2 pick sixes in the second half. So, I mean, I thought Stroud's performance was more impressive than Purdy's against the Seahawks last year, personally, if I'm being honest.
Yes. Because he didn't falter the whole time.
Yeah, no, and Purdy obviously struggled in the first half against the Seahawks when it was wet. Again, that was my thing about the wet.
Well, but also not
it's better now that you're here.
Now,
thanks for asking.
Just because it was wet doesn't mean that's what was the issue, because they are a division opponent. The same reason why I didn't want to play the Rams is the same reason why the Seahawks might have been doing so well in that first half, because they see us so much. They put together a great game plan. It hit, and it couldn't withstand the corrections in the second half. That could be what happened, or it could be the rain. I'm just Look,
I mean, I was there, and it rained in the first half, and the sun came out. The field dried up, and the ball dried up, and Purdy torched him when it got dry. But yeah, I mean, it could be that could be correlation rather than causation. So could be just that those two things happened together, and one had no effect on the other. That's possible. Absolutely. I until I see it like really wet and Purdy do really well, I'm gonna continue to say I have some doubts. I'm not gonna say he can't play in the rain. It worries me. I'll just say that it's a concern.
Shout out to Amin the Dream. He says, "What's up?" But he's also got a great comment about Stroud.
All
That's
right.
the last one. Yeah. Stroud is the best rookie quarterback I've seen. Brown's defense was really good this year. Stroud and Sloanick cooked them, and it looked easy. And there's no bullshit there. That's true.
No, there
could be more nuance that you can add to that, but that is a statement that is essentially like 100% across the board true. You can, yeah.
It's just also
as well as him.
I think it's different when when the Browns offense isn't putting any pressure on you either. Like one thing is how good the defense is that you're playing against. The other is like how many points is their offense putting up that's forcing you to do things outside your comfort zone, that type of thing. And I do think the Ravens offense will push Stroud a lot harder than, Flacco is a great story, but part of his story with all these TDs he's thrown was he's thrown a ton of interceptions, and that definitely showed up in the game. Let me scoot back up a little bit. I do have to get going soon. 5:00 is my witching hour, so I may get someone coming in here soon to.
You got to go get the cauldron. Got to get the cauldron warmed up.
Exactly. So, yeah, I agree with any given Sunday. No, I'm not saying that the Stroud can't win. I'm just saying it's gonna be a lot tougher at M&T than it was at his home stadium.
Another thing I'd like to give Stroud credit for,
with a better record, with a better QB, with a better defense.
Stroud came into this league, and he's been doing great ever since the beginning. And he's also running the Shanahan offense, which is tough for people. So when it comes down to it, he's doing, and he's looked better this year than I would say Brock Purdy did last year. From the start,
absolutely,
from the start, and he's got a lot of other things going on that team. So a lot of other new guys and stuff like that he's had to depend on. So I give Stroud.
I get it, but like, people are going off the Browns, off their yards allowed, but if you go off their turnovers forced or their sacks, they're nothing like the Ravens. So there's other ways to evaluate a defense other than just yards allowed, and could be that the Browns didn't allow that many yards because their offense didn't give long fields for the other teams to go to score. So, anyway, it's always important to consider all the factors. And that's one with the Browns defense for me. I got into it with Browns fans over the season about, that it not being a historic defense, or like they had historic numbers, but I was like, keep in mind through 5 games, you guys have played 32nd, 30th, 26th ranked offenses yards wise in the Niners with lots of injuries. Like maybe when you play some better offenses, you guys may not be so historic. And sure enough, that turned out to be the case. Plus the whole road versus home Jekyll Hyde situation. We got James Durnall in the house. Welcome, James. Come to us from across the pond. Yes, Cowboys are frauds. Eagles are frauds. Rams played well, but I was saying that the Lions were a little bit dirty. Biting kneecaps turned into Higbee's ACL after Hawkinson's ACL the same way by the same guy. So I'm not happy with the Lions. But welcome, James.
James, real quick, hit me up on Twitter so I can give you the link to the Discord, sir.
There you go. We are wrapping soon, but just want to say hi to Brandon. Says D Hall. Welcome, Brandon. I don't know that we've seen you before, so welcome to the show.
D Hall, yes, that was the guy. That was the guy I was talking about. D Hall was the DB that got his ankles broke by Steroid boy, DeAndre Hopkins.
Ah, okay.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you, Brandon. Appreciate you.
D'Amico, King of Texas.
Yes.
D'Amico should be coach of the year, honestly. I don't know how anybody could argue otherwise. If people were saying Stefanski, but like that went out the door when D'Amico beat him in the playoffs as a rookie
Amin's
coach with a
question
rookie
right there
QB.
is
Where do I rank him?
Question right there is really good.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, off topic. Who do you think has more questions, Cowboys or Eagles? I mean, I think Eagles just because Kelsey just retired. Fletcher Cox is up. And another one of the lead, Brandon Graham, he said he'll come back for a farewell tour. But they got a lot of free agents, the Eagles do, and a lot of questions. Yeah, I think the Eagles have more bad going on than the Cowboys, but Cowboys pretty bad too, where they got bounced in the playoff. Someone was saying like Cowboys choke and Niners choke too, like as if we're the same. I'm like, yeah, except for we bounced you guys from the playoff 2 years in a row, and the third year you guys dipped, so we wouldn't do it the third year in a row. So they haven't even sniffed an NFC Championship game this century, and they're trying to say.
I so wanted to see what their last
play. That was today. That was today. I'm like, Jesus Christ, you guys just lost 2 days ago, and you're already delusional. Like you go back to delusion mode that quick. Like one day of crying, and the next day it's delusional. Like Cowboys are the bad. Oh, crazy pants.
So, I think it's definitely the Eagles, just because people were talking about firing Mike McCarthy. That was like the media was asking this, and some of the fans were talking about it, but the players are like, nah. They're going to bat for Mike McCarthy, right? To me, I don't know if you can fire him when all the players have got his back. That means they're taking responsibility for that loss, saying, hey, it was our fault, not the coach's fault. And I'd rather have a team rally behind something like that than to piss them off by firing the guy they were standing up for. You know what I mean? Even if it was the coach's fault in the end. You know what I mean? I like the dynamic of that better than just pissing off my locker room. Eagles, I haven't
Sponge
seen that.
was asking for the Discord.
Okay, Sponge, I'll hit you up. I don't know if the Eagles did the same thing for Sirianni. I haven't heard anything like that because the talk is out about him being fired too, and a lot of the people are saying it. So where's the players? I would like to see what the players think on that, because that would really be the nail in the coffin for this. Because if the players aren't behind him,
we'll find out probably the next few days here. Well, man, I wish I didn't have to go, but it's coming up on 5:15, and you don't want to hear me get yelled at by my wife. So
you're good.
Let's say peace and go Niners, everybody. Thanks to everybody who came by, beat the Packers. And hopefully we'll be talking about hosting the Lions or Bucks next week.
Yeah, hopefully. Let's go.
All right, here we go.
Go Niners.